Hello, Intactivists. In the news this week, we have Foregen, Intact Africa, Intact Australia, Intact Global, and much more coming up. In POTS news, once again, guys, huge news on our e-commerce program. It's being backed by donors, making it 400% more. This is perfect timing. I have made a coffee post about it if you want to learn more. And I also am giving out a special role on my Discord for people that are trying out the e-commerce program. So you guys can get a role and not be without a role. This past week, we have exploded with order ideas, which is awesome. You guys are truly great, and the Intactivist community coordinating together has led to many fantastic things, including breaking the cut, signing an ad contract with Prevail over the system. This is our third Intactivist group we have contracted with. We have met our mandate at POTS of using at least 10% of our revenue for Intactivist groups. We actually used a little over 18% of our revenue to Intactivists currently, so that's going back into the Intactivist economy. This is not only helping POTS grow in subscribers and influence, but it also helps those who we contracted. Breaking the Cut, Unaltered, and Intact Nigeria now have more resources that they can give to their own groups or ease financial hardship, which frees up time for them so they can go ahead and do more Intactivism. Also, this is fostering a more collaborative spirit amongst Intactivist groups. So this is awesome. And thank you everyone who is using the e-commerce program and also using CareBuzz for POTS. Since this is the first Tuesday of the month, we're going to check on our CareBuzz real quick. We are still at 18 contributors. We're up 7%. That is awesome. So 7% of $300. It might not sound like much, but hey, you know what? This is slow and steady. And if you guys want to go ahead and be a part of the CareBuzz Army, feel free to go down below. I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can go and download the CareBuzz app and just follow these simple steps right here. Remember, for website 1 is the code you want to use, and then just keep the app running. And it helps out Prevail of the system and Intactivism. And this does not cost you any money to do. And as well, I would like to thank all of my donors. And if you guys do enjoy what Prevail of the system is doing, and you enjoy the content, and you like the Intactivism coming together, and you do decide to donate to Prevail of the system, I'll leave that link down below as well. It is getting matched by an amazing donor that is matching all donos and tips. That is really cool, and that's going to last until December 1st this year. All right, and we got news coming across the pond from Intact Africa. Max Roberts, who's from Intact Australia, contacted me, and I quote, "When I heard that researchers from the African VMMC campaigns had discovered a decline in men of a certain age group being circumcised and that they wanted to work on strategies to improve uptake in this group, I was furious and contacted Kennedy in Kenya. We organized for radio adverts to be aired every hour before the news, running all day long. We have aired 4 days of ads so far of making of this email, being at the start of school holidays when circumcisers prey on families. Kennedy has reported that these ads have had a great impact and people are wanting to know more. We are now organizing for Kennedy to do a radio talk show to follow up, where listeners can call in to ask questions." So Max gave me a transcript of the radio advert that Max drafted for Kennedy, and it was aired in the Swahili language. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what the transcript said. So this is what the transcript said right here. I'm not going to go ahead and read that to you. You guys can definitely, pause the video and read that if you wish. Also, in Intact Australia news, the Intact Australia website Contact Us is not working. So they can't get email through that. So if you do want to contact Intact Australia, what you would have to do is you would want to go to their Facebook right here. This is the Intact Australia Facebook, and you'd want to go ahead and send a message. Now, I cannot send a message because I am a page and not an actual group or person. Like, I'm a page on Facebook. I'm not really a person. So if you're a person, you're going to have the ability to go message Intact Australia yourself. So if you want to go ahead and message them, you definitely can. Because once again, their contact us on their webpage is not working. And in Intact Global news, Intact Global Conference, they're planning on doing their first annual conference March 2025 in Los Angeles, funds permitting. So they're going to have a special offer for donors. If you give $500 or more to any of their initiatives, over time, we'll receive a free attendance ticket. Also, what to expect is inspiring presentations, networking opportunities, engaging, and contribute. It says, we are looking for passionate presenters. If you have a compelling topic to share, please submit a title and abstract of your presentation on our contact page. Your contribution can help drive the conversation forward and inspire others to join the cause. You can also help by venue and catering assistance, and you can stay updated by checking the website regularly and subscribing to the Intact Global newsletter. And this is their contact right here, intactglobal.org/contact. They've been working on their website quite a bit. I mean, some things don't work, but they got the about going, they got the initiatives, they got the team all set up here. That GoFundMe doesn't work. That button doesn't work yet, but Intact Global is starting to come along. And in Oberon news, so Oberon is an Intactivist that is a single person, and he goes on Medium and he writes inspiring stories about the trauma of genital violence, which is circumcision. And you guys can go ahead and look at what he's doing on Medium. His content doesn't take too long to read. It's about 4-5 minutes, but they are kind of graphic. They do have content warnings. So if it does trigger you to read about circumcisions, I would not recommend this, but maybe give it to a friend if you want to go and let him know how you feel about it without actually talking about it. That could be a strategy. This is one of his articles that he made, only about 4 minutes. I'm not going to go in this because it is, a content warning, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody here. Yeah, you guys can definitely go and check out O'Brien. All right, and in Foregen news, we have a lot of Foregen news to cover. This is the August 1st newsletter. They made the final report of animal trials. They expect to receive it, the rat and the sheep, this month of August. The report will allow them to finalize their surgical plan for human patients. This data will allow us to put together our overall plan for human clinical trials and apply for government approvals. They're also meeting to develop their surgical plans. They're going to go get with the team and discuss the results of the animal trials. And this will allow Dr. O'Day to become more familiar with using ECMs in a surgical context and provide him with the necessary information to finalize his surgical plan in human experimentation. So they are quickly approaching the human experimentation. Dr. Jose Vega, essentially what this says is that Dr. Jose is going to go ahead and give a proposed experiment to the Foregen board of directors on how to ensure that the nerves and the nerve endings and all the specialized nerve structures are going to work. That is all of this summarized. Histologics, multiple tissue providers have been identified to support the histology study that Foregen contracted with Histologics. The first provider has already begun collecting samples, and shipping will take place soon. We are currently working with additional providers to supply additional samples. Histologics will begin the histology analysis shortly after receiving the tissue samples. I feel like we've been waiting a while for Histologics. I feel like they've been talking about Histologics for almost 2 years now, but I would have to go back and double check that. Now they're searching for contract research organizations worldwide to partner with to manage future human clinical trials. So hopefully they go ahead and find their contract research organizations. Seems like a pretty big step for Foregen, but they're on the search for them. They're scaling to meet potential future demand. I mean, this kind of sounds like the whole Histologics thing, like they're looking for more tissues, essentially. It says Foregen continues to meet with research institutes that we could potentially partner with in the future to refine applicable technologies for our project. Such technologies could allow us to scale to meet potential future demand for therapeutic use of our surgical procedure. So this actually could be the 3D bioprinting that they're looking at. I'm not really sure. They could also allow us to further optimize the procedure to meet the needs of individual patients. These technologies could potentially include bioreactors, bioengineered ECMs, and tissue stretching technologies. This is a long-term endeavor that depends on successful human trials and will require time. This is like a long-range plan for Foregen, so don't expect this in the coming couple years, it even seems like, because they still got to get through human trials. I don't even know who they're really talking to or why they're even talking to them if they're not in like the right time or place to really be doing this. Because I mean, it sounds like this is going to cost a lot of money and time to go ahead and look for something that you're not even ready for because you're waiting for the human trials to be completed. And the fundraising, once again, it is below $20,000 in July, which is crazy to me because I feel like with the animal trials being done and, well, practically done, you'd think this would be way higher. But maybe next newsletter is going to be way, way higher. But good job to Foregen, though, either way, because they just hit over $2 million. That is really awesome. That is a big hike for them. That's great. Yay! Yeah, so that's really great for Foregen. They haven't announced they made over $2 million yet, but maybe that's because their first million was amazing, but their second million isn't that great, or maybe they haven't noticed it. Who knows? They also said a whole lot of things this time around in the newsletter. All right, and in Intact America news, once again, just a quick reminder, in 2 days, new voices, new rooms in Arlington, Virginia, August 8th through 11th. They're going to do their book touring there, and you guys can go ahead and register. So you guys could register since April 2nd. You click here, and you just... I don't even know where you'd register, actually. If you guys know where to register for this, please let me know, because I am definitely not sure. And another quick reminder, your voice in federal decision-making. If you want to go ahead and make a comment to the CDC and prevention, and you want to have them research circumcision some more, you definitely can go ahead and say something. You got 45 days as of a making of this recording to go ahead and do it. I want to make sure that you guys know, hey, you have the chance to go ahead and have your voice heard. Apparently, a lot of people are doing it. That's what a bunch of Redditors are talking about, but that's rumors. I'm not really sure. So I did a poll on that. We'll talk about that poll when it gets a little closer. All right. And in the polls of the week, in the spirit of Foregen finishing animal trials and human trials quickly approaching, I asked, can you afford a $25,000 surgery? Now, this is just a $25,000 surgery right now. This is like cancer or heart surgery or any surgery. Can you afford it? Most people said no. And keep in mind that there's no bots in this. There's no bots. I got rid of them. I removed them from the survey. So these are all people. Most said no. So if you want to get Foregen the surgery and you have the money, you definitely have a huge leg up according to this small poll. I get it. It's very tiny. And if you don't have the money right now, well, you can always start saving and working on your credit. You do have some time. A lot of people are in your boat of not having $25,000. Obviously, you can't just find $25K in your couch cushions. And if you can, that's fantastic for you. Just letting you know, if you have the means with the funding for Foregen, you're ahead of most of the people. I mean, even if you take out a loan, and if you can accomplish taking out a loan for Foregen, a lot of people cannot. So you're still ahead of the people there. Once again, guys, if you don't like how this turned out, please go to my Discord and go vote, because your vote matters. And on to the fundraisers of the week. Intact Global, Oregon litigation effort, still at $10, even with the $500 incentive. They are looking pretty flat at $10, not moving. They're starting to revamp their website too and having it completed. Maybe they're just not updating this. I'm not really sure. If you guys have any news on Intact Global that I'm missing, please let me know. And in the POTS coffee, we are 62% of our $7,000 goal. Once again, all donations do get matched come December the 1st. Your donation won't be matched right away, but December the 1st, you're going to see a pretty huge tick up. All right, and on to the growth of Intactivism for the week. So last week, Bloodstained Men was at 6,415 followers. And today, Bloodstained Men is at 6,420 followers, which is a 5% gain, or a 0.08% gain for the week for Intactivism, putting on a gain on the board. It's about half as much as last week, but given all the craziness going around the world right now, that's still pretty cool that people are listening, receiving Bloodstained Men's message, and they're actually following them. So that is really awesome. Alright guys, well that is all what I have. Please leave a comment, questions, or concerns down below, and don't forget to hit that like button. That really does help me out. Once again, thank you so much to all of my donors and supporters, and just for watching. Thank you guys. Alright, catch y'all later. Bye! A special shout out to our coffee supporters.